Dry Season, the summer equivalent season of Don't Starve Shipwrecked DLC, or Island Adventures mod if that's more your type. It brings with it insane levels of heat, low tides, and very few waves, and of course, its signature mechanic, volcanic eruptions. The only good thing about this season is that you only have to deal with 15 days of it in a standard 70-day season cycle. And the other 3 seasons, Mild, Hurricane, and Monsoon, are incredibly peaceful compared to it. You guys already know what's about to happen. Welcome to the Dry Season Challenge. We're going to be trying to survive 100 days of this mess while making volcanic eruptions even more deadly than they already are. How long will we be able to survive? Well, let's find out. Day 1 starts with us, surprise surprise, in Dry Season. Unlike my 100 Days of Reign of Giants Summer Challenge, however, heat would be far less of an issue. Dry Season's heat comes in waves. Like Shipwrecked. Anyways, it starts out relatively cool, so for the first day we can treat it like it's mild season. However, once the plants start to shrivel, which tomorrow they will, the world temperature will be high enough to pose a threat. But that's a future me problem. Right now I want to spend the entire day gathering everything that I possibly can from our starting island and this neighboring island that I sailed to, ending the day with far less twigs than I would prefer, but overall we were looking alright. Day 2. Beached Rainbow Jelly. This was really good. If you don't know, rainbow jellyfish are much like glowberries in that you can eat them for a few segments of glowing light, but without any sanity penalty. The only caveat is you must eat them raw for the effect, and they spoil relatively quickly. Oh yeah, we also found gold, which for day 2 of Shipwrecked is actually really good. After obtaining a whopping 4 gold nuggets, we set sail and began to overheat. There may be no shade in the ocean, but there is one countermeasure we can take on the high seas. Yep, purposefully getting hit by waves will increase our wetness, which will lower our temperature. Unfortunately, once we hit peak dry season, these countermeasures won't be enough, so learning how to make endothermic fires is a top priority. We finished the day off by making a home base consisting of a science machine and an alchemy engine. It wasn't on the best island I could find, but it had a big sandy beach, which will be important later on, and beggars can't be choosers. So it's good enough to call home to me. Oh yeah, we also made a thermal stone, but I learned quickly that either dry season is hotter than summer, or thermals are just horrible in single player. Or both. Who knows? On day 3, we head out on a journey to try to find 2 resources. Gold, and more importantly, twigs. As you can probably see, we are running dangerously low, and I really wanted to upgrade this ridiculously low capacity thatch pack that I had made from palm leaves. The problem? Withering was now almost in full effect. Thanks to my knowledge about Don't Starve and its single-player DLCs, however, I knew that there was one source of both twigs and grass that were immune to the deadly laser that is the sun. The mangrove biome. Here, mangrove trees can be chopped down for lots of twigs, and because the grass is waterlogged, it can never become withered. It's safe to say that me and this biome were gonna become very acquainted over these next 100 days. You know, if I survive that long. Also, this is where I learned that thermal stone that I had made earlier was actually incredibly useless. Here we have a tier 4 fire, and the stone barely retains any cooling value. In summer of Don't Starve Together or even Reign of Giants, a stone will hit very cold easily with a tier 4 endothermic fire. But in Shipwrecked? Nope, best you can get is mildly cold. And not even a few minutes after the stone is right back to neutral. Yuck. The only way this thing could even possibly be useful is in conjunction with an icebox, where it's at least guaranteed to get ice cold. Anyways, enough rambling. We end the day by chopping down some mangroves while utilizing that epic rainbow jellyfish light. Day 4 was mostly just a day of advancement. We hammered down some debris for some easy resources, including our spawn point, which provides us with a free boat repair kit. And then we make ourselves a backpack, and prepare to make an armored boat in the morning. You may be wondering at this point, where's all the doom and destruction of dry season? Well, let me explain something that you may not know about dry season over the footage of day 5, since nothing crazy interesting happened today besides the aforementioned boat we made. Some of you well-versed with Don't Starve's game mechanics may know about the boss grace period. It's a feature in both Don't Starve Together and Reign of Giants that makes it so you can't get a Bearger spawn on your first autumn, no matter what your settings are at. What you may not know, however, is this will apply to all seasonal bosses. Start your run in winter and you will not see a Deerclops until the second winter. Start in hurricane season and you won't see a Sealnado until the second one, and so on and so forth. The volcano is actually considered a boss in the game's files, or it at least is treated as one here, because for our first dry season, the volcano cannot erupt. But wait, isn't this gonna be 100 days of dry season? Where's the fun in a dry season challenge without its signature event? Yeah, I know. But much like hurricane season's challenge, there is a workaround. This workaround comes in the form of an intermission season. In my 100 days of hurricane season, I had chosen monsoon season as my intermission season because it felt the most natural and allowed for Sealnado to spawn on subsequent hurricane seasons. For this challenge, I chose mild season. Why? Well, it's simple. Both hurricane season and monsoon season may cause rain to bleed over into dry season, lowering the threat, not to mention dusk and night are longer in both seasons. And because seasonal changes are dynamic, this would lead to a dry season that had more dusk and night, which would mean more safe travel time out of the heat of the sun. Mild season, however, is guaranteed to not bleed any rain over, and as a bonus, it has a longer day than dry season, which means as dry season progresses, more daylight will occur, which is a very bad thing when daylight is out to kill you. What does this mean for the run? Well, every 15 days, we will have 5 days of mild season. I tested with longer dry seasons as well, but this caused volcanic eruptions to be way too spaced out and way less oppressive. So I felt that this was the best choice to both give us a rough start with the heat and keep us on our toes. Trust me, if you think this made the challenge any easier, just stick around. Things get kind of nuts. Oh yeah, where were we? Day 5. Look at those resources. Like I said, me and the mangrove biome are going to be best of friends in this playthrough. The trees are like twiggy trees if they weren't so crap early game. Twiggy trees are still superior late game because of the passive income though. And I will stand by that. Sorry, twiggy tree haters. On day 6, I made an incredible realization. There were a lot of rainbow jellyfish near this mangrove. This meant that the volcano was most definitely nearby. Now, if I found the volcano, sure, that means I could appease it with various doodads and make this challenge a breeze. But I'm not letting myself do that, because where's the fun in that? No, our goal was a different thing. Something so beautiful, so addictive, something that makes life worth living. Okay, snap out of it. We have survival to focus on first. The sweet volcanic nectar can wait. We finished day 6 by standing in the tide to cool off. Yeah, it was starting to get really hot. On day 7, we had officially reached the solstice of our very first dry season. Only 8 more days to go and we would get our first break. The problem? Yeah, we're kinda stuck in this mangrove biome. We overheat instantly upon leaving the shade, and getting soaked no longer cools us down. So we spend the day sort of chilling. Then when the sun goes down, we use that to our advantage and dart home, where we spend the night quite literally cooling off. On day 8, I spent the first half of the day collecting butterflies from the safety of base camp. Oh yeah, we had a permanent endothermic fire pit now, which was a huge upgrade. And then later in the day, I set sail with a normal temperature thermal stone, got myself a swordfish, and then made a pit stop on the nearest island to pillage some wild boar houses, who don't take as kindly as pigmen when it comes to hammering their houses down. We really needed this pigskin though for what's to come. I'm sure you all know what's about to happen. But do you know the severity of what's about to happen? You probably don't. Day 9 was a chill advancement day. Armor in the form of football helmets and my personal favorite weapon, the Cutlass Supreme. We had 2 swordfish spawners incredibly close to home, so we would have no shortages of cutlasses either. Which was great, especially because crocodogs are going to actually be a threat during this challenge. So you know how hounds have seasonal variants, fire and ice, right? Crocodogs also have seasonal variants, wet and venomous. Wet crocodogs are whatever, because they will just leave puddles around and it's no real big deal. But venomous ones will envenomate you when they bite you. And guess what season they spawn in? Yep, dry season. As if to make this season just a little more compromising. Thankfully, crocodog waves won't start getting real bad until next dry season, so we have some time. Day 10 was here and the heat was slowly fading, which meant we could spend these next few days exploring. Our goal was treasure hunting, as that would provide us with a chance to obtain very good armor and to find some tar slicks to get a sea yard up and running. In hindsight, I should have just fought Quacken, since that would have solved both of our issues. But look guys, in the heat of the moment, see what I did there? I'm not exactly the brightest. Don't worry, we'll be fighting Quacken in this video, quite spectacularly I may add, but not yet. Our first treasure was found on night 12. It gave us some easy gold, 1 doubloon, a dark sword, and a life-giving amulet. And I threw that amulet where it belonged, in the trash. Well, on the floor, there is no trash can. Whenever I do a proper challenge run like this, I consider death to be a fail condition, no matter the circumstances. This isn't playing 100 days of dry season. This is surviving 100 days of dry season. And we only get to live once. On day 13, we decided to give up ye olde treasure hunting life in lieu of a new hobby, destroying the local ecosystem. Why were we doing this? Well, because coral would be very important for 3 things: tar extractors, the sea yard, and finally, something I barely ever make, anti-venom. Now, I am generally the laziest person you could ever find playing Don't Starve, and normally I'm a big fan of just eating venom glands and tanking the 70 damage they do. But in a challenge where we will most likely constantly be taking chip damage from the sun itself, that doesn't seem as viable. So spending some seaweed and coral to remove the health malice doesn't seem all that bad anymore. But first, tar, the black gold of Shipwrecked. We had managed to find 2 tar slicks not too far from the base, and if we slapped down some tar extractors on them, it would mean we could make the sea yard, which would allow us to keep our boat topped off on health whenever we returned home. As a fun fact too, tar is considered a tier 4 fuel, like boards, which means it will instantly max out any fire source you add it to. And in my opinion, it's much more reliably farmable than boards are. So it's really not too shabby of a fuel source. After setting up our extractors, we head to the nearby magma biome to secure some gold, which takes us the entirety of day 15, bringing us right into mild season, our first proper break of this run. However, this also signified that in 5 days, our first real dry season would hit, and we needed to prepare heavily for that. For the first day of mild season, we collected our tar, second day we had a sea yard up and running, and on the third day, this happened. Where that? Oh, yes. Oh my god, there's a 5th swordfish. Alright, here we go. This is good. This could be armor. Oh! What are the odds of that? That's gotta be like 1 in like a billion or something that it spawns right in the center of my base. On the 4th day, we found a pirate hat set piece and hammered down a few wild boar houses, while dodging said wild boars as well. Then we dug up our suspiciously placed treasure chest to receive the one true earring. Funny enough, this trinket has the highest appeasement value for the volcano, so this was just one great big middle finger from Clay, honestly. Especially right in the center of my base. And finally, our last day of our break season, we hunted for the volcano. But we never found it, and ended up in the middle of the ocean when it was time. No more games, no more easy mode. From here on out, we would be getting the extreme dry season experience. However, we came prepared. We had armor for the eruptions ready at home, and an umbrella to keep us well shaded. We also had our first run-in with a yellow crocodile today. What is that? That's a yellow one. Oh god, wait, yellow ones. Yellow crocodiles are dry season? I did not expect that. Oh, I forgot about that. On the bright side, today we did manage to find the volcano. We take a quick looky-loo inside and find ourselves some coffee. But we didn't want to stay too long. If you happen to be inside of the volcano during an eruption, then you will be instantly set to maximum temperature, basically guaranteeing your doom. We head out on day 22 with 10 amazing coffee plants with us, the lifeblood of any Shipwrecked playthrough. And on the way home, we also found Rawling, who would be our buddy for the majority of this playthrough. Of course, you're watching a Polarlotus video, so I forgot one key mechanic. Coffee must be planted on rocky turf. The closest rocky turf being back at the volcano. So I made a crock pot, chugged some coffee, and we zipped our way back. Unfortunately, we got our first warning. The volcano isn't cruel. It will warn you that it's about to rain brimstone and hellfire upon your base before it actually does. You get 3 total tremors, and we just experienced number 1 on our way to the volcano. Surely my greed won't be the death of me here, right? You get 2 or 3 warnings, and then you get the eruption. Alright, this is actually a Spec Ops mission. We gotta go quick. I'd like some of this ash turf, too. I like ash turf kitchens. I think they look the prettiest. We don't have hamlet interiors, so we can't make a proper kitchen, so we might as well work with what we've got here. There we go. Okay. Now it's time to... That's second warning already. Are we kidding? Are we for real? Okay. Okay, we're for real. We are for real. A bit of a rush here. We can't be in the volcano when that goes off, and we can't be on the ocean when that goes off either. But we have coffee, so we can move quick when the time comes, which it will. It is on the way. 4 more coffee plants. I'm putting myself on the line just for my caffeine addiction. I'm putting the whole run on the line for my stupid caffeine addiction. That's third. That's third. That's third. That's third. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. We are in danger zone. All right. We just gotta get back to like a beachy island. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We don't even need to go home. We just need to get to a beachy island. So the first eruption's probably gonna start like now. Go, Wilson. Go, go, go. We don't get any more warnings. Yeah, if you can't tell, those eruption warnings are subtle as hell. Go, Wilson, go, Wilson, go, Wilson, go, Wilson, go, Wilson, go, Wilson. We have an endothermic. Okay, good. Where were you like every other time? You stupid message in a bottle. Now you want to show up? Now you want to show up? All right, we're almost there. And okay, okay. Actually, let's move a little further just to be totally sure. Okay, we're good. Whew. We were now ready. So while meteors rain upon us for the first time, let me go ahead and tell you a little bit about volcanic eruptions. There's a few tactics I like to use to ensure that I don't take any hits, and if I do, I can survive. Each falling meteor, which are actually dragoon eggs, will deal a whopping 300 damage. That's enough to kill 2 full health Wilsons. What can we do to mitigate this extinction level threat? Well, there's 2 things: dodging and armor. Not getting hit is your first line of defense against an eruption, and for this I like to use 2 tactics. Stand completely still and look directly at your character's feet. The shockwave of a falling dragoon egg cannot hurt you, only direct hits will, and flailing about like a panicked little baby is a surefire way to accidentally wind up in the path of a falling one, since they tend to fall in a circle around your character. That's right, usually they don't target where your character's actually standing. It will eventually, of course, but it's rather rare. So stay calm, take a breather, and only move when you notice a shadow overlapping your character's feet. Now, what do you do if you're in the direct path of an incoming strike and you don't have the means to escape it? Well, here's where armor comes into play. If you're not armored, well, good luck. And if you are, then you have a chance of surviving. If you are playing the Island Adventures mod, then armor will be slightly less effective thanks to Clay removing armor stacking and Don't Starve together, but because armor durability still stacks, I would recommend it anyway. For you Chad single-player enjoyers out there, however, you've got a whole mechanic to work with, and that is armor stacking. If you don't know, armor in Don't Starve is ridiculously powerful, with the most basic armor, a football helmet, providing a whopping 80% damage reduction to all hits. For something that only costs 1 pigskin and 1 rope, that's pretty bonkers. Just a football helmet alone will turn that 300 damage hit from a dragoon egg into a very survivable 60 damage. Meaning, in theory, you could survive 3 direct hits with just a helmet. But because 2 hits will destroy a football helmet without a log suit, that last hit will be completely unarmored. And here's where armor stacking comes into play. If you wear a log suit alongside your football helmet, it will filter that 60 damage through another 80% reduction. No, I'm not kidding. You may have even seen it in my latest Hamlet boss rush video, where the Iron Hulk was hitting me for fractions of my health. You know, the boss that does well over 100 damage a hit. This turns that initial 300 damage hit, enough to kill you twice as Wilson, into a 12 damage hit. This method's not foolproof, of course, because armor can and will break, and it still is only 2 shots until your helmet breaks. Honestly, if you were on default settings, you can get away with armor stacking and AFKing through most of the eruptions. But on lots, as you could probably tell, there are a lot more eggs falling, and way faster too. The chances of a double or lethal triple hit are very high with lots on. And if you think I'm playing it too safe and suddenly everything's going to be boring, don't worry, I'll start taking risks later down the line. But for now, I just needed to see how bad Lots was since I haven't tested it fully prior, and man is it a lot more. After you survive your first eruption, like I have, you will have to deal with the second phase, the Ash Storm. Eventually, the Ash Storm will overlap the actual eruption, especially if you have Dragoon Egg set to Lots like I do, which makes it incredibly difficult to focus on your feet for shadows. But as long as you stay calm, focused, and armored, you should be okay. Remember, even with just a helmet, you can take 3 hits. and on default settings, it's hard to get hit even 3 times. We finished the day by relaxing and setting up our coffee ranch. After that violent eruption, you would think that we get some type of grace period, right? Wrong. Eruptions only become more and more frequent as the season goes on. Eventually, we will see daily eruptions. We had our first warning at the start of dusk on day 25, so we spent what little time we have on day 26 clearing out an area on the beach of our home island to prepare for its arrival. You may be asking, why am I doing this on a beach? Well, the light color of the sand makes it easy to see the shadows. A massive difference compared to some of the darker ground tiles, like magma or deep ocean. Speaking of deep ocean, never, and I mean never, try to survive an eruption out at sea. Boats have no armor value, meaning a direct hit will do 300 damage to them no matter what. That's enough to sink most boats instantly, or at least 2-shot them. And drowning in Shipwrecked is a death sentence unlike Don't Starve Together. Plus, you'll have to dodge a bunch of waves and stuff, it's just not fun. Anyways, the eruption was here, and we got through it relatively unscathed. I opted to mine the dragoon eggs to stop them from hatching. Yes, they will hatch into dragoons if you let them sit there. They are very easy to fight, however, and I'll show you guys soon when I get too lazy to mine the eggs later on, because of the sheer number of them. But yeah, you can pretty much stun lock them. It's a little weird though, you have to wait for them to attack first, and then you attack them. And then if they do that weird like dipping animation, then you've got the stun lock, but if they don't, then you have to move back. And I'm talking way too much for a segment that I'm not even showing on screen. Wow, this is probably really boring to you guys. Oh no, we should move on. On the start of day 27, we had a crocodog wave, which was pleasantly uneventful, followed by our first eruption warning, which made me realize something. There is a very real chance we will have a crocodog attack during an eruption. Wouldn't that be epic and scary? Spoiler alert, we will have that happen twice, but not yet. We prepare for our third eruption of the season, and you can see it's already littering our beach with random debris. Lots of obsidian though, which is cool. It's okay. We can tank a little bit of overheating. It's okay. It's okay, everybody. We need to stay safe. Yep, we're in this part. We're in this part of her dry season. Oh god. Woo! Ouch! And there it was, our very first hit. And as you can see, our helmet was absolutely devastated. Luckily, the eruption ended quickly after we got hit, since we did not want a death spiral there. This also brought to my attention the fact that overheating was a big issue, especially because our endothermic fire will constantly get destroyed by the falling meteors. So a good counter to this is to use an umbrella, which I will start using soon. I'm not that dumb, guys. Because dry season was in full effect, I really didn't want to be caught outside of our base during an eruption, and they were becoming more and more frequent. So I decided to hunker down and just try our best to survive until the next mild season break. 4th eruption, 5th eruption, 6th eruption, there were a lot of eruptions. And to be frank, we were going kind of stir crazy. We had plenty of food, I wasn't worried about that. We even had some bountiful coffee harvests. But Don't Starve is a game about exploration, about moving around, about doing things. And being cooped up on this island was really just not fun. Well, we had to suck it up. We had a day count to reach, and we wouldn't reach it by complaining. On the bright side, you guys don't have to sit through the agonizing torture of being held hostage by a volcano. You instead get to watch me do it. For your entertainment, of course. By day 33, we had hit the peak of dry season's eruption cycle. Here we would see daily eruptions, and they got quite nasty. Here we go. That bird absolutely just got smoked, by the way. And rip our fire. Okay. Another thing you want to do is just do not keep moving. Stay completely still and let the meteors come to you. You keep moving, that's how you get stuck into a, you walk into one. Oh, God! Now, in that case, it's okay to move, okay? I don't want you guys to think it's not okay to move from there. Like, when that happens, you gotta move. Like that? Okay, yeah, we move. And remember, you're totally safe in the shockwave. The shockwave does 0 damage to you. You just need to be careful of the direct hits. The direct impacts will do 300 damage to you, which is enough to one-shot you if you're not wearing armor. Double up on armor. I cannot state this enough. You have the benefit of having double armor in Don't Starve Shipwrecked. Use that benefit if you're trying to survive the volcano. Now, for you island adventure players, good luck. If you're playing Island Adventures, I would just suggest you tame the volcano, because you cannot stack armor in Island Adventures. Or just don't set Dragoon eggs to lots like I am right now, because then you get this. Oh god. See, oh! That was the death spiral right there. Almost happened. Almost happened. Ooh. That was almost a bad hit right there. It's over? It's over. Watch the feet. What are the odds our endotherm makes it through this? Not very likely, I suppose. Yep, there it goes. I want a spot where I can see my feet. Yikes! Oh my god. And that's a move. Here comes the hard part. That was the easy part. I'm gonna sound like a broken record saying that by the end of this run. Oh god! Okay. Ooh, that one was close. Wow, they're really playing with me right now! Stop playing with me, boy! Please, can we be done? Can we be done now, please? Okay, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. Yeah, I had a newfound love for this mild season break. Without it, we truly would be able to do nothing during this challenge. But what did I spend this mild season doing? Preparing to decorate our base, of course. Dry season forces us to be ready at all times, so going far from our designated eruption zone isn't actually very smart. To fill the void, I decided we would decorate as much as possible. Oh yeah, and if you want to know how much obsidian you get from one full season of eruptions with it set to lots, it's roughly 3 stacks, which I would say is not worth the anguish and the pain that the eruptions cause. If you need obsidian that bad, just world hop or something. This challenge nearly gave me a heart attack with all the near misses. Alright, back to the video. Alright, mild season. We obtained some obsidian armor and an obsidian spear. These are mostly decorative since we will be ditching body armor soon to up the stakes of these eruptions, and the obsidian spear will heat us up and set fire to most things, so it's really not good. And then we did a lot of turf collecting from the volcano. At this point, I had a vision. I wanted to turn our little slice of paradise into a volcanic hellhole. It would be on theme with the challenge after all, but it would require a lot of turf. But mild season is only 5 days long, and before we know it, we are right back to square one. Our third dry season was here. We had a few days before the eruptions would begin, so we spent them working on base camp. We would name this camp something completely original, Camp Boomy. And our island's name? Well, we would name it Boom Beach. You know, like that weird mobile game. Does anyone still play that? It had like the funny doctor guy. Whatever, that's besides the point. The main point is that by the time we were faced with our first eruption, our base was taking shape. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering how I got those gears, the Sea Police, aka the Floaty Boaty Knights, did not take kindly to my frequent rainbow jelly massacres. So I've had a lot of them around. On day 43, we head up to the mangrove biome to stock up on twigs and grass for the season. A horrible idea. I hadn't been counting my warnings. And on day 44, we had an eruption on the tiniest beach imaginable. No body armor either, and only an 80% helmet. I'm just glad I parked my boat far from the beach there, because if you didn't know, eruptions can and will sink boats even if you aren't on them, which could have left me stranded. Here, we survive and head home, but that event definitely made me think twice about leaving Camp Boomy during dry season. I guess it could have been worse if we'd gotten the eruption in the middle of the base. Geez, that sure would suck, wouldn't it? On day 45, we added some finishing touches to our island. I decided to plant a bunch of trees and create a jungle zone. Not only will this look a little prettier, but it will also give us something to do when we inevitably become trapped soon. Though, we decided to rip the band-aid off early and spent the next few days working on our base. I even made this really cool obsidian border around our coffee plants. Honestly, I was proud of this one. But these next few days, nothing but base building and eruptions. Though I gotta say, out of every base I've ever made in Don't Starve, this has gotta be my favorite. It's a shame I picked the most destructive season to be the most creative. On day 56, dry season was almost over. Confident I wouldn't receive another eruption, I head to the volcano to grab some more turf. That's our second warning. There's a chance we hit third warning in one segment. In that case, we might have to do emergency boat survival. That's not good. We have a very high chance of dying there, if that's the case. This trip could cost us our life if we're not 100% sure about this gamble. We have to be 100% sure that we are not going to get an eruption. We either take the safe route and make a beeline for this beach here, or we gamble. We head to the volcano and assume that mild season is right around the corner. We're going to the beach. It's not a gamble I'm willing to take right now. Thank you. Ooh, man, that was scary. Anyways, mild season was here, and again, we would use it to further our efforts into making our island look pretty for the 100-day victory party. If we make it that far, that is. Day 58 would prove to be a turning point for our design, however. Remember how dragoons spawn from leftover eggs? Yeah, they're also kind of fiery. Our jungle had burned. Little did that dragoon know, though, that this was all according to plan. Anyways, that's all for this season. The rest was spent doing all of the boring stuff, and if you really want to see me collect turf for a few days straight, then hey, check out my extras channel. Every single challenge run you see on my main channel is uploaded over there unedited, for both proof that I did it and because I know some of you really enjoy those 10-hour-long videos for some reason. Anyways, enough self-promotion. It was time for dry season number 4. And we would start strong with a Quackin' battle. There you are. Alright. We got the Quackin'. Let's go do Quackin' things. Quackin' time! And up here. Go for it. God. I'm gonna try to limit our boat damage because we are taking full damage from these waves. Again, it's not that deep. I've never failed a Quackin' battle. Never have I ever sunk to a Quackin'. So if I sunk today, out of all days, to a Quackin', I would be very upset with myself. Alright. And down here, we're going to get the booty bag too, which is just straight up a better backpack. And down she goes. Goodbye, Quackin'. With the Quackin' battle over, let's just take a minute to appreciate this base. Yeah, it's still a bit messy, but I promise I'll clean it up soon. Anyways, what's on the menu for this dry season, you may be wondering? Well, more eruptions and more base building. Not a whole lot of insane, epic, YouTube-worthy moments, but still, it's satisfying to watch the base grow throughout the season. Our second to last break season here, we decided to spend it preparing for a project so massive that it would take us most of the season just to prepare for. Operation Turf. Our island was a volcanic mess, now it had to look like one too. Was I really about to turf almost an entire island with volcano turf? Yes. Yes, I was. Everything went smoothly until the final day, day 82, when some very rude winds came and messed up my obsidian stepping stones. Thank you, wind. Well, this'll be interesting. Okay, so new plan here. Oh, really? Okay. Okay. So this just got hellfire. Okay, okay. Sword. I need my sword ready. Great. Well, this just got very fun. Here we go, guys. I might chug a coffee. Yeah, we're gonna chug a coffee. Okay, this is dangerous. Oop. Oh my god, this is bad! Okay, we're fine. This is scary! Yikes! Okay. Run around like a man. Run around like a madman. We're fine. We did it. Now we just gotta survive the rest of the eruption. I made an extra helmet just in case. That was, different. Our final dry season started off very strong, until I made a fatal discovery. So remember those winds that blew around my obsidian? It also blew my niter around. You know, that critical resource that's been stopping us from turning into a pile of goo throughout this challenge. And niter, well, it sinks. Yep, about 1.5 stacks of niter sunk right on our beachfront. That hurts. But thanks to our coffee addiction on day 85, we remedied that situation relatively quickly, and before the eruption cycle of doom began, which was really nice. But when the eruption cycle started, well, I'll let you guys watch that for yourselves. More rock, more obsidian, more fun. Look at it. Look at the PNGs. They look like they're glistening because of how much they're moving. It's so funny. This is gonna be very fun. Okay, it's blue crocodiles for some reason. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Okay. We're fine. And that right there was our second Crocodog Eruption hybrid. And after that, we locked in and prepared to finish this challenge strong. This was it. Day 99. 2 days left until we could say we survived 100 days of this literal hell. And guess what? Those last 2 days were in mild season. No way we could die now, right? Well, I have a lot of doubloons, and I really wanted to finish this challenge with a trip to the casino, so I searched and searched, even going completely insane, with zero regard for my boat health. Did I sink while searching? No, something far worse. It became day 101, the end of this challenge, and I haven't found the slot machine. This was truly the worst day of my life. Oh well, base tour time. So all these coins will go to waste, sadly. But welcome to my base, everybody. Look at this. We've got a beautiful little kitchen. We've got Rawling here with us today. We've got this beautiful little kitchen with 5 ice boxes and 4 crock pots. We've got our ice makers. We've got our farm with an ice fling-o-matic to keep things from withering during dry season. We have our obsidian stepping stone lined walls that keep us very safe and secure. We have our seawall here, which is Really, really nice. Look at that. We also have our basic area here with a little bit of storage. We have our nature preserve here, since this is the only nature on this entire island. I don't know if you guys know this, but we've converted this island into a volcanic island of doom and hell. We have our coffee farm over here, nice and lined with obsidian stepping stones, because that's beautiful. We have Ash Beach with our palm trees, the last palm trees existing on this island. We have our weird lure plant conglomerate. Kind of happy about that. And then, if you come down here, you will see that we have a dragoon. We'll ignore him. He's our pet. Yeah, we have all of these. Yeah. There was a lot of eruptions here. There was a lot of eruptions here. We also have the burnt forest. You'll love to see it. Totally didn't happen on accident. But yeah. Anyways, that was my base. Obsidian Packham. There we go. If you think that this challenge is going to end with a little fun base tour, though, and not something crazy, well, you're sorely mistaken. We're going out with a bang. Oh god, it's time! The volcano! It's erupting! Alright, we're fighting Quacken during volcano season. Eruption! Actually going very surprisingly well. It's actually going well. Oh! Wait, we actually just killed Quacken during eruption. Wow, that was quick actually. I love our base, and it's beautiful. But the volcano always wins. Oh no! Oh, this is so sad. Oh, this hurts. This hurts to watch. Oh, our walls. Our coffee. All of the things we've worked so hard on. Oh, no. This is so sad. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, if you want to watch the entire journey with commentary because I'm a certified yapper, make sure to subscribe to my extras channel, which link will be in the description. And hey, if you made it this far, comment a volcano emoji and leave a like. And of course, subscribe if you aren't already. Next to that volcano emoji, give me some ideas for some more fun and ridiculous challenges that you want to see. Anyways, guys, I'm off to go chew on some ice cubes or something. See ya, everyone.